Hello, welcome to my channel Rereads. I'm Rhiannon, and today I'm doing my long-awaited book review for The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I read this last month, and it's taken me quite a while to process this book. This book is amazing, basically, and I would recommend this to everybody. Basically, everyone. Doesn't matter. I would advise 16 plus for this book. 16 plus for this book, up to any age. So 16 plus plus plus. And my friend recommended me this book, and she gave me this book to keep. Also in the UK, this book has recently won the Waterstones Award. Won a Waterstones Award for YA, I think. So Waterstones have also got a copy of this, but it's got a yellow spine. This book is so relevant for today. I had to take this book very slowly because the topic is so raw still. For me, after recent events that happened in America during my reading of this book last month, it was so raw. And I think it would be very raw for some people. It does have triggers like gun crime and death. But oh my god, it was so rich. It made me understand. And the fact that Angie Thomas has kind of lived this story as well makes it even more powerful. I could never imagine growing up in a country where gun crime is so high. I live in the UK, and we're quite lucky in the UK to have a very good gun law. But I could never imagine what the characters went, or whoever. I can't imagine for anyone who does live in that sort of area like Star does in this book. I just can't imagine it. I would be so scared I wouldn't even leave the house, to be honest. But I was rooting for Star. I understand why her parents sent her to the school they did. I understand why her father wanted to stay in the area as well. I understand that and things like that. And it's so horrific in this book that someone who's meant to uphold the law can shoot someone just because they can. And that's what happens in this book. It follows Star, and you know that her friend gets shot right at the beginning, but they're unarmed, and just because he used to be a drug dealer back in the day, you find that out quite early on in the book. It was just because he's been a drug dealer, the police officer thought he was grabbing for a gun, but it wasn't, and he shoots him. And I was like, how can someone who upholds the law could do that to a young person? It was so upsetting, and I know that this book also the events in these books can and have happened in real life too. It's tragic, and yeah, I would give this book 1,000 out of 1,000 because it was so amazing. It left me speechless. It left me upset. It left me thinking about real life situations as well. This book definitely stays with you after reading it, and it is in my top 5 books to read before you die, as well as top 5 books you have to read now. This book will always be one of those books that will follow the time and the law and will be relevant to any time you read it. Even if you don't read it now, but you wait 5 years or 10 years to read it, it'll still be relevant, because I think what happens at the moment, I think there'll always be gun crime in 10 years' time. There'll always be someone who dies because of someone's brandishing a gun, and I think it will be relevant. I also think that schools everywhere, not just in America, but schools everywhere and in the UK and all over the world, they need to put these on. They need to put this on university reading lists or GCSE reading lists, and they, especially if you're doing law, like law, or you want to do a degree in, forensics, or a degree in, or just do a dissertation about things that happen in this book, then this book should be on everyone's reading lists, everyone's uni list for school. I think everyone should read this book. Everyone should get educated about the things that happen about this book, because this book doesn't just reflect. This book is not really, in my mind, it's not really a fiction book. It's more of a non-fiction book, because these events do happen in the real world, and this book is just amazing. Angie Thomas is just an amazing writer. I cannot wait for her more writing from her. She is amazing. She's so inspirational. She's so influential. I really want a sequel to see what Star and the rest of her family go through after the events of the book. I would love it if like Amazon or Netflix would pick this up and do either a series. I think this would make a great film as well. It needs to be done. It needs to be read. It needs to be understood. I loved it. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars on Netflix. I really recommend it. Please do pick this up if you're not planning on so already. If it's down, if it's way down on your TBR list, put it right up the top. You will not be disappointed. I can guarantee you won't be disappointed. But yes, thank you, Angie Thomas, for writing a book, for writing about a topic that needs to be written about, because it just needs to, and there needs to be more stories like this. People need to be educated, and people need to know what goes on. And, I loved it. And even though it came out last year, this is the best book I have read in 2018, hands down. This will get the top spot of my best book I've read in 2018, even though it came out last year. This is amazing. A lot of tissues needed. Right, that was my review. That was my review on The Hate U Give. I'm not going to go into too much on it. I want you to find out about yourself. Yes, so I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.